For years, fans have been waiting for the next big blow-up between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. But after what happened at Texas this past Sunday, Elliott just said something that flips the whole story on its head. Let's back up for a second. The Würth 400 at Texas Motor Speedway was supposed to be just another race on the schedule. Instead, it turned into one of the most exciting finishes of the 2026 season so far. And right at the heart of it were two drivers who used to hate sharing a track together. Chase Elliott in the number 9 Chevy and Denny Hamlin in the number 11 Toyota. Two guys with a long, messy history. Two guys who fought tooth and nail down to the final lap. And when it was all over, Elliott was the one in victory lane, beating Hamlin by just 0.407 seconds. That win made Chase Elliott the first multi-win driver of 2026 not named Tyler Reddick. And it gave Hendrick Motorsports a huge moment to celebrate. 5 Chevrolets finished inside the top 10, including Elliott, Bowman, Suarez, Hocevar, and Byron. The Chevy banner was flying high. And honestly, it felt a lot like that race we all watched at Martinsville earlier this year. Same two guys finishing 1-2, same close margin at the end. Just a different track and a slightly tighter gap this time around. But here's the thing. Elliott did not have the lead all day long, not even close. He didn't actually take over the race until lap 152. That's when the pit strategy got interesting. Corey Heim, who was driving part-time for 2311 Racing, peeled off for a quick stop, and Elliott jumped right on that opening. From that point on, it turned into a high-speed fight between Elliott, Hamlin, and Heim. Then, with just 11 laps to go, things got chaotic. Heim misjudged a corner and spun straight into the wall, coming off turn 4. That brought out the 7th and final caution of a wild afternoon. Now everyone in the building knew what was coming next. A 4-lap sprint to the checkered flag, 2 lanes, and 0 room for mistakes. When the green flag dropped on that final restart, Elliott lined up right next to Hamlin on the front row. The bottom lane had been the place to be all day. Pretty much every restart, the bottom lane won out. As the race leader, Elliott had control of the lane choice, and he smartly took the inside lane for himself. That forced Hamlin to start on the outside. Right behind Elliott on the bottom was his Hendrick teammate Alex Bowman, lined up perfectly to help him out. As Hamlin's number 11, Toyota, started to creep up on him, Bowman gave Elliott a huge shove. That extra push was just enough to clear Hamlin through turns 1 and 2. And from there, Elliott pulled away to grab his second career win at the Fort Worth Quad Oval. After climbing out of the car, Elliott was quick to give credit where it was due. He talked about how the whole Hendrick Motorsports team has been grinding through a tough stretch. As he put it, this is a testament to the whole number 9 team, but not just the number 9 team, but also everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. We've not been where we've wanted to be throughout portions of this season, and everybody's just been digging in really hard. From the engine shop to Hendrick Motorsports to all the setup shops to everybody at Team Chevy. You could tell he meant it. This was a team win, plain and simple. But the bigger story came when Elliott sat down with Sirius XM NASCAR radio after the race, because that's where he completely changed the conversation about him and Denny Hamlin. With a small smile, he said, "It seems like he and I are racing for wins a lot." And just like that, the old narrative about these two being bitter enemies started to fall apart. They are not fighting in the parking lot anymore. They are fighting for trophies. That is a huge shift, and it tells you everything about where these two drivers stand right now. Now, if you have followed NASCAR for a while, you know it has not always been this peaceful between them. Just a couple of years back, Elliott and Hamlin were trading paint and trading words. Things really hit a low point at Charlotte in 2023. Elliott got fed up and turned Hamlin straight into the wall on purpose. NASCAR did not take that lightly. They handed Elliott a stiff suspension for the move. The dust eventually settled, but the bad blood between them stuck around for a long time after that. Now jump ahead to 2026, and the whole tone has flipped. After his Martinsville win earlier this season, Elliott already admitted that he had buried the hatchet with Hamlin. And what we saw at Texas only proved that he meant it. They went head-to-head in the closing laps. They raced each other clean. There was real respect between them this time. No cheap shots. No drama on the cooldown lap. Just two top-level drivers giving everything they had on the racetrack. This Texas win also meant something deeper to Elliott on a personal level. He has been pretty open over the years about how much he has struggled at this track, especially after they reconfigured the layout. He has even said straight up that he is not a huge fan of the place, so winning here once was already a big deal, but winning here a second time felt different. He talked about how all the hard work and effort have finally started to pay off. And because of the journey it took to get here, this win felt more meaningful than his first Texas victory back in 2024. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell a great story too. Elliott led a race-high 87 laps on Sunday. That is not just hanging around, that is dominating big chunks of the day. The win was the 23rd of his Cup Series career. He moved up one spot in the standings to third place, and he chopped the gap down to points leader Tyler Reddick to just 117 points. That might still sound like a lot, but in this sport, that gap can disappear in a hurry. There is one more thing worth pointing out here. This is the earliest in any season that Chase Elliott has ever picked up his second win. Across his whole career, with a Cup title and lots of deep playoff runs, he has never started a year this strong. For all the talk about him being past his best days, the numbers are actually saying the opposite right now. He is quietly putting together one of the best starts of his career. So when Elliott says it feels like he and Hamlin are racing for wins a lot, he is not exaggerating. Hamlin has finished second in both of Elliott's wins this season. And when Hamlin won at Las Vegas earlier this year, Elliott was the runner-up there. These two are basically taking turns beating each other for victories. That is not a rivalry built on hate anymore. That is a rivalry built on respect, and on two great drivers pushing each other to be better every weekend. Even Hamlin tipped his cap after Texas. He gave full credit to the number 9 team for how fast they were when they got out front. He admitted he just did not have the restarts he needed. He even said straight up, "Props to the 9 team." That kind of thing would not have happened a few years ago. Back then, you would have heard a lot more frustration than respect. So here is where everything lands. Chase Elliott just took the old story about him and Denny Hamlin and tossed it in the trash. The fights, the wrecks, the suspensions, all of it is in the past. What we have now is two of the best drivers in the garage going head-to-head, week after week, for the biggest prizes the sport has to offer. And based on what we just saw at Texas, this might be the new normal for the rest of the 2026 season. Two drivers who once could not stand each other have grown into the toughest competition either one of them has on Sunday afternoons. Elliott is hitting his stride at the perfect time. Hamlin is still right there pushing him every single week, and the points gap to Tyler Reddick is shrinking faster than people expected. The road course at Watkins Glen is up next, and that is a place where Elliott has historically been one of the best in the field. So if he keeps this momentum going, do not be surprised if these two end up trading the lead again real soon.